Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today, kicking off the brand new year of 2023. She is a nail artist. Please welcome Aileena from Elevated Nails. Hello, Aileena. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very, very good. How are you?
I'm good. I actually changed my name to Art, Beauty, and Soul.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, art, beauty, and so that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to go in and ask, like, also too, like, really quick, like, how's the weather down in where you live?
Well, yesterday it was crazy. There was puddles everywhere, and San Francisco got really flooded, so a lot of people were stuck inside. It was like you could see like, some people. I saw some videos of people on surfboards.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just been like for some odd reason the past few days it's been like warm. I mean, it's a good thing, it's been like in the 50s and 60s. I'm in the Washington D.C. area, so um, it's been warm the past few days. So it has been cold previously, but it's gotten back to spring summerish weather for right now, and it'll probably get back to winter. So it's kind of crazy. But I definitely want to welcome you into the show. But I definitely want to go ahead and kick off this interview by asking where you're from and how'd you get started in the nail industry.
Well, I was born in Oregon, but I was mostly raised in Dublin, California, and Tracy most of my life, and then moved to the Bay, more East Bay, like Oakland and Hayward, when I was like 18, and I've been there since mostly.
Mhm.
I'm 25 now, so it's been a while. And I got started in doing nails because I've always painted, and I'm just an artist naturally. In school, I would do like graffiti on paper and do everyone's names and stuff.
Right.
And then after high school, I started doing acrylic painting and just kind of
Mhm.
going to art shows and stuff. And I always
Right.
liked getting my nails done, but it was hard to find someone that could do the creations that I wanted. So I was like, well,
Mhm.
let's just try to do it. And I was inspired by somebody on Instagram who's also a painter and an artist. And she makes like shoes, paints shoes, and a bunch of other stuff. And I saw that she did some nails, and I was like,
Mhm.
let me try this. And so I did it on my friends and myself, and it would take me like forever, like 6 hours. My poor friends had to sit through it. But
Right.
and then I was like, well, maybe I should just go to school because it's not that expensive and it doesn't take that long.
Mhm.
And so then I just kind of started doing nails after that. I was working at a restaurant, and they didn't let me have some days off one time.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm just going to quit then
Mhm.
and force myself to start doing nails. So then I just went to a bunch of different salons and I showed them my paintings, and they were like, okay, we'll give you a chance. And someone gave me a chance, and that's how I got started.
Wow, that's really, really cool. But I definitely want to really ask and switch gears. Like, what was your experience like just being in art school, like in a general sense? Like, did you feel like you've learned everything, or do you feel like with nail school, especially with beauty school, do you feel like there's so much that they could have, taught you?
Yeah, art school. I didn't go to art school, but with beauty school, with I just did
Yeah,
nails.
beauty school. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Okay. um, yeah, I feel like school is mostly for learning about diseases and safety and cleanliness. They
Hmm.
don't really teach too much about um, like the apex and the shaping. Well, they try, but it's not. I think the teacher that I have never really did nails in real life. She was always just a teacher, so I think it was a little different. And it just mostly focused on like state board, getting through and taking your state board and passing that. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, you kind of learn the art on your own, or you could take classes from other artists, or just mess around with it on your own. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, right. I could totally agree with that because, my time in beauty school, well, I had cosmetology courses I took in high school before I got my license. So they offered the cosmetology program in my high school. And of course, they teach you like the basics, of course, like how you said before, teach you mostly like diseases, disorders. Kind of they don't teach you like in depth about like the business end, about the financial aspect of owning a salon,
mhm.
especially booth renting, different products and things like that. So I definitely believe that that could be improved more. But that's why, like, also a lot of people are offering nail classes. So that's really, really cool too.
Yeah, it gives us the opportunity to teach those kinds of things, because if they were all taught in school, we wouldn't really have that.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, totally. Mhm. So I definitely want to go ahead and really just talk about. So your brand is called Art, Beauty, and Soul, and I definitely want to talk about like what has been the journey so far, just in regards to having your own nail studio or nail salon.
Well, I was working at a salon before COVID, and then when COVID happened, like obviously everything was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up starting to do it in my garage, and I just bought everything, invested, and worked out of the garage for a while until I had to move out of that house. And so then I started renting a booth. So
Mm-hmm.
recently I've been renting a booth from a salon.
Right.
And on the 4th, I actually moved into my own private studio suite.
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's been my journey. I think there's like pros and cons to owning versus working for a salon. I
Right.
think working for a salon, I would recommend starting working for another salon because you can learn
Right.
a lot from their years of experience, and they have these recurring clientele that come in that allow you to get experience and practice and can learn how to be clean and how to kind of how the business goes. I think it's hard to learn that on your own if you don't experience it with other people that have
Right.
years under them. So I would
Mm-hmm.
recommend starting that way. But uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think having the freedom to create your own schedule and just be yourself and create art is just a really amazing thing about being able to own your own salon and just be your own boss.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly, most definitely. But I definitely want to kind of just really ask, like, also too, did you find anything difficult in particular with on your own nail salon, nail studio, possibly?
Um, mm, I think I don't know. I think there's difficulties in anything you do. So I
Hmm.
think it's kind of things that you have to do in order to be your own boss.
Right,
Um, just like, marketing yourself, you're responsible and liable for everything. You don't have any kind of security behind you. So I
right.
think that can be scary.
Hmm.
And just being responsible, making sure your all your supplies is stocked up, and that you're like promoting and
Right,
making people sign things, protecting yourself, getting a deposit,
right.
having policies in place because you want to be happy in life. So you have to enjoy what you're doing. So you can't let people run over you.
Yeah, yeah, right. Absolutely, most definitely. I could totally agree with that wholeheartedly. But I definitely want to switch gears and talk about your nail art because it's really, really cool. I love how versatile it is. And one of the sets I really liked was the long nails with the gold,
That was
the
my favorite one so
gold.
far too, I think.
Yeah, they're really, really cool. So what are some things you draw inspiration from in regards to your nail art?
um, Everything. I think just being an artist, I just
Right.
see life as just something that inspires me in every way. Like driving down the street, I can look at a
Mhm.
sculpture or a word or a tree, and I could be like, that would be kind of cool if I did this or that.
Right.
So I think I just kind of take it from everywhere.
Mhm.
But I was nervous when I made those nails because I hadn't seen anything
Mhm.
like it. And I think stepping outside of the box can make you kind of question yourself sometimes, especially if you're
Right.
not surrounded by people who can support you. So I think that experience really grew me in a lot of ways of working
Right.
with the photographer, the model, and just like the hair artist or the hair braider and the makeup artist.
Right.
Everybody was just like super excited to be there and happy and loved what they were doing, and we were all like so just hyping each other up, and I felt like it was a
Right.
really really cool experience, and I hope that other artists can experience that too, to build
Mhm.
them to more courage to just step outside the box and create just for creating and the art of things versus trying to always please or get some kind of recognition for it.
Yeah, yeah. You make a very interesting point because, like, I always try to push myself the best of my ability just in regards to my nail art because the thing is, when we're told it's kind of cliche, but it's like you don't want to settle, like you
Mhm.
don't want to be complacent. So the thing is, like, just for me, I always like to push myself, and like how creative can I get with a certain nail set, or what mediums can I use to
Yeah,
make the set like very, very cool and things like that.
yeah,
So yeah, and I'm glad like with nail art now it's getting more conceptual, it's getting more creative, not the box. You look at I forgot the Japanese guy's name, but he does these futuristic, long nails. And there's another guy, his name is Texo Dallas or something like that. He does like those very cool, futuristic nails. So,
yeah,
people are getting more out the box with with nail art. So it's really cool to see.
I think you can thank social media for that. I think it exposed us to a lot of different avenues, and if people are like, oh, this is an art form, and it's created the jobs that we have today, where it's before it wasn't really like an art job. It was more like everybody was just doing what they needed to do. And now it's like we get to create, and people appreciate it, and they want to support us in our art, and they want it on them, and it's their expression of themselves, and we get to help collaborate on this experience of creating art that expresses themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with press on nails too. Like, you know, a lot of people are attracted more so to the bespoke aspect of press on nails. They're not getting press on nails as much at CVS and stuff like that. You know, the store bought like Kiss and things like that. Like they want something, like people want something unique. And that's something that a lot of people are attracted to, you know, more so, because when you have a unique style, people can gravitate towards you and they'll support you because you have a totally unique feel.
Yeah. It's like your outside is speaking for your inside.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. But I definitely want to switch gears again and talk about press on nails. So, what has been the journey like in terms of selling press on nails?
So with COVID, I started with press on nails, and I was just kind of creating whatever I wanted. That's what I do like about press-ons, is you can just do whatever you want, and then it's like, hey, if somebody buys it, and I just was able to get creative. But for me, I feel like press-ons is a little hard because you can spend a lot of time creating something, and I don't think that everyone sees the value in how much you want to charge for the time that it took for you to create the press-ons, because they're thinking like, oh, I'm only gonna wear it a couple times, or oh, you know, it's I don't know, for some reason I think people don't always value them as high. So I've noticed that I feel like I've had a problem wanting or selling them at the price that I've wanted to price them at, based on how long it takes me, because it still takes me a long time to make the press-ons.
Right.
So that's why I stick mostly with just doing people in person. But I think for special occasions, campaigns, if I were to work with brands and I would ship them like to LA or for a photo shoot, like those really wavy ones I did, obviously you're not gonna wear them all the time. So having press-ons is good. And also you can rent out press-ons. So for the wavy nails that I did, the gold ones, I am gonna put them on my website for rent, so people can use them for their shoots. So if someone has some kind of idea, it's like you can just keep reusing the same press-ons and rent them out to different people, because they're not going to be used daily. They're only used one time. Reuse them. It's like recycling.
Like, that's a very interesting idea, because that's like with fashion. Like you rent out certain fashion clothing, you know, high-end brands, you know, you wear them, and you know, you want for a certain period of time, you take it. But that's like with like cars. You rent a car, you drive for a while. So yeah, that's a good idea.
You can start doing that with nails. That could be a new thing. So it's like, why not? You're only gonna wear them once. Why pay this premium price of the time it actually took me to create it, versus paying a lower price? It's more affordable because you're only gonna use them once, and then I can continue to rent them out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, what are some things you take into consideration when like charging like your nail service, especially with press-ons?
The time and the materials, but I would say most of it comes from my time. All the detail and the intricate designs, it takes a lot of your time. So I think as you do nails or do any kind of art, you kind of see how long things take you as you go, and you can kind of gauge how long things will take you, and you can give estimates.
Right.
It's hard at first, though. It's definitely hard to charge when you don't really know
yeah.
it's going to take you, or maybe you're slower than you wish you were in the beginning. So it's just a learning journey.
Yeah, I could totally agree. Like it is a journey, because you know, you're trying to, you know, get your work out there, but also too, you know, the more time you spend and the more you're higher in skill with what you do, you know, you're like, hey, let me charge higher for my work. And that's what I'm glad that us as nail artists are doing, because, you know, these nails take time. You know, they take a lot of work, you know what I mean? A lot of hours, blood, sweat, and tears. So, you know, people are charging. I like how people are charging $200, $300, $400 for a set of press-ons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I find very, very like cool with that. But I definitely want to get into just in regards to like just booking clients and what has been the journey in regards to booking clients, like especially when you first started opening up your own nail studio. Did you find it hard? Did you find it easy? Also, like what is the best booking app you would recommend for people to use?
Right now I use Square, but I think Acuity I may want to switch to because I think you can have contracts and policies that you have people sign beforehand, which I think is important. So I might be switching that way. But what was the first part of the question? How did I get clients?
Yeah. Did you find it difficult, easy? Like what has been the thing been like in terms of getting clients? Did you find it easy, difficult? By any chance?
I think finding clients can be difficult, but that's why I would recommend starting at a salon because they already have these clients and they already have a name for themselves and people know about them. So it kind of is able to bring you those clients in that practice. And then you can make a name for yourself. Also promoting yourself, always creating, like don't just sit there and wait for a client, make nails on yourself and post those and market those and take videos and just always be creating content. And if you don't have to do it on yourself, do it on some press-ons. And then what I did is I would go to community events and I would pass out flyers. And it was like, hey, 10% off if you come with this flyer one time. And it would have like pictures of the nails that I've done. And that's how I got clients. And then, putting it on Google, creating ads on Instagram. So it could be difficult, but I think eventually they'll roll in. And then word of mouth is really important. So make sure that you're doing a good job when you get them.
Yeah, right. Most definitely. But I definitely want to also switch gears really quick. Like, who would you consider to be like your favorite nail artist if you had to pick like a top 4 or 5?
4 or 5. Myself. I'm just kidding. Like Nails by Dev is one of my favorite nail artists. I think I just like her. I think she seems like a really, really genuine person, and she's fun. It's about the art. Dang, I wasn't ready for 5. I was only ready for 1. So, yeah, I think she's my favorite, and I like how she's created a really nice life for herself. As far as now, she just kind of does press-ons at home and creates the art. She has a salon. She's started selling her own products, and you can see how you can grow in the industry to make it whatever you want it to be through her. And she remains humble, I think, and she also supports a lot of the other artists. You always see her commenting or messaging other artists and following back, and I just think that it's nice when people don't think they're above other people.
Yeah, right. Most definitely. Yeah, Nails by Dev is extremely talented. She's the definition. Like, I have like this nail empire. You could do it too. So that's really, really cool. But also too, what I like also too, another artist I like is Ball Pit Nails.
I was gonna say her, but I couldn't remember her name. I was like that.
Yeah, Maddox. Yeah, like her work is very, very cool. Same with Tim's Nail Studio, who I interviewed. I interviewed Maddox as well. But they're really talented. They're really, really talented. Spiffster's another one.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. So they're not only are they talented naturally, but they put in the work, always creating things. And I think it can be difficult to do is get yourself out of bed and choose to do things and make content, make creations, because sometimes it's easier just to be chilling.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There's some cool talented nail artists, especially the ones like in Europe. Like the European nail artists, from Russia or Hungary, like
the sides.
Yeah. UK. They're really, really cool. But I definitely want to get into and switch gears and really talk about like what would be some of like your favorite like nail products to use when doing like nail or just nail enhancements.
I use Young Nails. I like their powder, and I use a lot of Valentino. Their gel polishes, and then Daily Charm. I would get a lot of little glitters or other things. For rhinestones, I go to Blue Street Crystals, that's what it's called. Yeah, I usually stick with like the same people. I just kind of re-up on the same supplies, and you don't try other things. I've tried Bare Minerals. No, that's a brand. That's a makeup. I forgot the name of them. I've tried some like more natural ones, but they'll have different consistencies. So I kind of always stick with Valentino mostly.
Yeah, like with Young Nails has pretty good products, you know. From what I've heard, I haven't tried their products personally, but
the Young Nails gel, like the thicker gel for painting, those ones are good. They have kits for them, and then Ugly Duckling has good polishes too. I mostly learned it from the salon that I was working at, and then I also worked at the nail gallery for a little while, and so I picked up some products that they used there too.
Yeah. The nail, she has some very cool products. You know, I like Savolin's colored gel. C&D is pretty good. Entity Beauty, their gel nail polishes are pretty good. So yeah, there's some good products out there. But I definitely want to switch gears and talk about the nail industry. So what are some things that you like about the nail industry, and what do you think are some things that could be improved within the nail industry, you know, in your perspective?
Things that I like is just the freedom to be an entrepreneur and a creative, and connect with people. And I really like that you could just be yourself. You create your own business. People that you vibe with and you get along with end up coming to you, and then you create partnerships, and people are just supporting your art, and you're able to create your own schedule. You can take the growth as far as you want. You can make a salon for yourself. You can hire underneath you. You could sell products if that's what you like to do. There's just so many different avenues. You could have courses, teach. You could, you know, just create content eventually and have Instagram pay you. Like, there's so many different ways to make a profit off of doing nails, and it's so creative now that it's just kind of like you're free to be an artist. And what do I not like about the nail industry? Not much. I mean, the back pain. Yeah, I would just say mostly the back pain. And some things. I mean, I feel like at first when I was doing nails, I used to get nervous because you're on a time crunch.
Right.
Like waiting, it's like the next. When I worked at a salon, it was like next. And now that I'm for myself, I've given myself a grace period of time, so that way I can just do whatever they want, instead of like I gotta get to the next. So at first I would be really nervous about being watched, like having the client there and doing it on them. My hands would get sticky, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I need a good job. And as you progress, you kind of get used to it, just like anything else. But that's mostly it, just like being on a time crunch, and the back pain. Or maybe, you know, sometimes I feel like I might not feel as respected in my career. Like if I say that I'm an artist, I feel like sometimes people are kind of like, oh, is that all you do? So I guess that would be a con, but it doesn't really matter, because you create your own life and you're living for you and not living for anybody else.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You know, you're living for you. And the thing with the nail industry is that, like how you said, it's just you have freedom. You have a lot of creative freedom. You know, it's very diverse in terms of artistry. And what I like is there's so many cool products out now that you can just, you know, you can just let your imagination just run wild in regards to what you create. And the thing is also too, you know, I think with education, like how we touched on earlier in this interview, is that, you know, there's so many nail classes you could take, you know, outside of, you know, state board, you know what I mean? Of course, state board, like how we said, teach you the basics, but you expand, the education, taking different, nail courses that different brands are offering, different nail artists are offering. So that's really cool that, it just makes you feel like the whole nail world is your oyster. And that's something that's very, very beautiful about that. Especially, I'm glad that we're getting some more recognition, a little bit in the fashion industry, especially, with celebrities wearing nails on the red carpet. I think that has to be improved still, but I think there's some progression going.
Yeah, I would agree. I would add that to the diversity you can make with nails is working with advertisements, like even like shoes, makeup, weed brands, whatever you want, doing commercials with their hands, or even artists like their album covers. Or Coco Michelle, I think that's her name.
Yeah, Coco Michelle.
Yeah, with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
I feel like she's a big inspiration for me too. I feel like that's really amazing that she's able to get to where she is and work with the people that she works and get the recognition that she's gotten from being a creator with nail art.
And that's the same thing with Tamika Jackson, Custom Tea, because she does different celebrities now. She's done Taraji P. Henson. She does Saweetie's nails, the rapper Saweetie. And so that's really cool that artists like Coco Michelle and Tamika, they're really putting themselves out there, and it's really cool to see that they get the recognition and things like that, and that's what a lot of us as nail artists want, is just the recognition, so that way we're out there and we get the credit, because the nail industry is another, nails is a form of art, as much as anything else. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, and I do appreciate about nails and the art of it is also like how small the scale is.
Right.
Because when I create paintings, like big pieces, it'll take me a month or however long, but it's like I get to do the same art but little within several hours.
Right.
I think that's fun and it's like someone's in front of you some of the time if you're not doing press-ons, and so it's kind of like I have to get this done now, and it kind of forces you to get that art done that may take you forever if no one's standing.
Yeah, right, exactly, absolutely. But what are some things you find the most rewarding with just being a nail artist?
The freedom to be yourself, to create the environment you want and the vibe in your own space. You get to choose who you have around you. You can say no if you don't like somebody, and you can create relationships with the people that you work with and that support you. And I think, just being able to be yourself, and every day waking up, making your own schedule and dressing how you want, listening to what you want, and decorating how you want.
Yeah, right, exactly, most definitely. So in 5 years, what do you think your future will look like? Like, what's next for you in your nail salon, nail studio?
Well, I want to maybe hire employees or contractors or to do pedicures, because I don't do pedicures. I only do manicures. So to hire that so my clients can get both services done and kind of expand my services, not even just nails. I want to expand to different beauty services, eyelashes, eyebrows. I'm also getting into the tattoo world. So I'm going to start tattooing. And so I want to bring that into the shop. Some days be a tattoo artist, maybe have other tattoo artists, and do nails other days. So I'm always kind of switching it around. I also want to get into photography. I do ceramics. So I have a bunch of different art avenues. And I kind of want to bring it all into one place and create kind of like an art gallery that supports artists from the community in all different ways. Let's make a gallery. Let's all get together. Let's sell our different art. Let's also bring that into the beauty industry. Like, I really want to combine art and beauty. I know it already is, but like really just bring it into the art of the beauty services.
Yeah, most definitely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support your business?
You can find me at Art, Beauty, and Soul on Instagram. Also, that'll be my website soon. Right now, my website is Elevated Nails, but it'll be switching to Art, Beauty, and Soul.
Okay.
My name's Aileena Gallego. I also have my personal Instagram. It's Lego Miego. And I also have an art Instagram that's just so that you could find my paintings and everything a little easier. It's called Gallery Aileena. So you can find me at all those 3 different places, and you can support me by following me, reaching out, getting your nails done, buying some press-ons, buying some paintings, buying some prints, getting a tattoo, buying a ceramic piece, a vase, anything. Any support, liking my stuff,
Right.
me, whatever.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Well, thank you so much, Aileena, for jumping onto the show. Your work is absolutely cool. You're a talented nail artist. So this is a really fun conversation. I really enjoy myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.